Hey there, in this video I'm going to talk about how to get leads without cold calling, prospecting, or networking. If you're anything like me, then you got into business because there's something that you love to do and you wanted to do more of it. For me, it was speaking. And if you're anything like me, you got into business to do that thing and then found out that you had to spend so much of your time networking, cold calling, prospecting, and generating leads to do the thing you actually wanted to do, so much that you actually probably spent more time doing the things you didn't want to do instead of the thing you did want to do. Well, in this video, I'm going to walk you through a few strategies to have business come to you so that you don't have to go out and find it. Now, here's just a little bit about my story so you can understand how I learned this the hard way. When I started my business, I did what most people do. I called up everybody I knew. I told everybody about what I was up to. I joined a chamber of commerce. I started attending networking events, and everywhere I went, I was looking for clients. And then whenever I'd get a prospect, like a business card of someone who's like, yeah, maybe I'm a little bit interested in what you do, then that's where the work would begin. I had to follow up. I would have to send emails, follow up with a call, and basically try to track this person down. And guess what? I don't think you'd be surprised to find out that what ended up happening was people wanted to avoid me because they didn't want me to keep following up with them. And all of the sales programs out there kept saying, well, you've got to follow up more, and 7 times is the average number of touches. And it turned into a real grind, something that I hated doing. It turned into hating networking where I used to love it, and hating getting out and doing these things because I knew that it would just create more work for me to have to follow up with. Then one day in the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce Emerging Leadership Council, somebody suggested that I do a seminar on sales. Now, sales was something I knew pretty well. I'd worked in a lot of sales jobs, and of course I was having to sell in my business, so I said, sure, I could put something together. Now, at the time, I was doing marketing consulting, and I thought, I can talk about sales, and maybe this will be a good opportunity to get some visibility for what I do. So I put together this sales seminar, and I delivered it to the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce, which was as any chamber of commerce, was full of small business owners. There were about 30, maybe 40 people in the room, and I gave my best seminar, and at the end, all these business owners came up to me and said, how do I work with you? How do I get more of you? I want to be able to implement some of these strategies that you shared. And I got this little stack of business cards of people that were really wanting me to follow up with them, that really wanted to work with me. It didn't feel like I was going to have to do a lot of work. And actually, truth be told, it wasn't a lot of work. I got a dry cleaning client from that seminar. I got, a handful of clients from the seminar, and it really was so much easier. It was easier because they came to me instead of me having to go after them. And that's the whole point of this video. How do you make it so that people come to you instead of you going after them? What are my top strategies for what I call come to me marketing? Now, before I continue with the exact strategies that I'm recommending, I want to take a moment to invite you to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and feel free to post a comment below. So obviously, the first strategy inspired by my Miami Beach Chamber experience is speaking. I have not, in the, maybe 10 or 12 years since that experience, found a single better strategy to drive qualified, eager, ready leads. There's something about being at the front of a room on a stage that is magical. It basically immediately engenders trust and desire. People want to be near you. They trust you more. You have more credibility when you're a speaker on a stage. Honestly, to this day, I work with a lot of speakers, and a lot of speakers have a resistance to using their role on the platform in order to sell. And I tell them, you're basically, especially if you're getting paid to speak, you're getting paid to drive leads. Like, why wouldn't you take advantage of that opportunity? It costs money to drive leads. You have to buy Facebook ads or Google ads or put advertisements in newspapers and magazines and radio shows and podcasts and whatever, sponsorships. There's all these things that you have to pay for to drive leads. But when you speak, you're either speaking and getting paid, or maybe you speak for free. But either way, it's a much better way to drive leads. So speaking is my number one strategy. And for those of you who don't have a background in speaking or can't or don't know how to get on stages, one of the best ways to practice is to create your own stages, to produce your own events. After that Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce experience, I started to run my own workshops and seminars with my own topics. Instead of the sales topic, which was, okay, but not my favorite topic, I started doing seminars on marketing and seminars on personal development. And 30, 40, 50, 100 people would come to these seminars, and I could reliably get at least a handful of prospects from those seminars. Now, by the way, I had to learn a lot in those years because at the beginning, I refused to sell my services or promote myself from the stage. And I had to learn basically over the course of a few years how to do that effectively. So that's a really important part of using speaking and using seminars and workshops, is figuring out how to do the call to action. But that's really outside the scope of this video. But I invite you to check out some of my other videos about how to make sales from the stage and how to leverage speaking into marketing and selling. Now, like I said, first strategy is speaking. The second is do your own events. The third strategy is guesting. Guesting meaning becoming a guest on other people's shows or podcasts. So for example, I've had guests on my channel. If you go back and look at my history, there are Megan Kuhn, Roger and Carolyn Nielsen. I've had other people on my channel. And if you look at my podcast, I have 76 episodes, I think, where in almost every episode, I'm interviewing someone else. Pretty much every podcast out there, every interview-based podcast is looking for high-quality guests. So one thing you can do is create a nice one sheet promoting yourself as a guest. What I would recommend putting in that one sheet is, what are the topics you're qualified to talk about? What do other people say about having interviewed you? Share a little bit of your bio, your background, and of course, sharing your contact info and where people can go to find out more about you. The fourth strategy is a content marketing strategy. This right here, right now, this YouTube video that you're watching is content marketing. I use YouTube to put my message out there, to share generously my content with the world in the hopes that a few really amazing prospects and clients will watch me and will reach out to me and sign up for a discovery call. You can also use blogging as a content marketing strategy, email marketing to get your content out there. You can write a book, publish a book in your space. These are all different ways that you can use content marketing towards your ideal audience to attract them to you. And of course, can't forget the call to action, which is what I'm going to do right now. If you are a coach, consultant, speaker, author, or some other type of thought leader, and you want to monetize more effectively, you want to drive more business, drive more results, let's connect. You can find me at superstaractivator.com/go.